gonna stay until we soothe our soul. If it takes all night long.
Boys and girls, children of all ages, kings and queens.
And you know who you are.
Of the Northeast Kingdom. Woodchucks, sandchuckettes, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left-wing wackos, you're all welcome here to another version of It's News to Us. That's right, that's us right here. And thank you, Philo. We're Newport's oldest TV news. What just now? And we're coming through the speakers, but it's dined off a little.
Yeah, I just turned it down just a little bit.
Thanks. Yeah, adult themes. You get adult themes and adult language, so you're advised. You know, it's not like you got to put the kiddies to bed, but you know, if you got little kids, what are they doing up to the, at 8 p.m. anyways? Heck, I couldn't stay up past.
Hey, downtown, look at that.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, it's all coming. Speaking of which, this is from last Thursday's paper. Stinger and Quiros defend EB5 moves. Yes, that's right. Oh, yeah, and there's old nose hair and the geezers and the corrupt midget senators standing behind them, and everybody's in line, and Shummy's even there, too, with his hands in somebody else's pockets.
Well, we don't want him left out now, do we?
Yeah, no, we had to send somebody back to Hanoi to look for his wallet in that whorehouse. Unbelievable. Yeah, anyways, J-Peak owner Ariel Quiro said the transaction was 200% ethical. Now, would you want a man handling investments that doesn't know that the dial stops at 100%?
Well, I don't think I want a man handling me anyway.
Yeah, really, I'm not sure if I want a man handling anything, as my wife would say.
Pretty girls, okay. Men,
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so.
Anyways, yeah, it says, let's see, is defending its right to convert $17.5 million in equity stakes into unsecured 9-year loans. The conversion was implemented on August 31st last year, and without the knowledge or consent of the 35 Jimmy Grunt investors who each paid up $500,000 towards the construction of the Tramhouse Lodge, which is part of Ray Peak Resort. Unbelievable. And so, yeah, he says it's 200% ethical, even though, even though 100% is the highest you can get, but, that's okay, right?
We're just playing with numbers here.
Yeah, it's just money. It's just money, and it ain't our money, so screw it. And we took something that wasn't guaranteed and make it guaranteed, Quiro said. How can you possibly call that wrong? Is that so wrong? It's like that guy, what was that guy on Saturday Night Live, remember? Oh.
I stopped watching them after Bill Murray.
Oh, God, it was in the 90s, I just, is that so wrong? I mean, really?
After 1983, I stopped watching it.
Yeah, the revised note issued in July did not appease them. Let's see. Stinger and Quiros hold that it was their sole discretion, and it's clearly in the agreement that they signed. It's in the small print, like W.C. Fields used to say. The smaller the print, the bigger the reason to read it. And sure. And it says. All 6 EB5 in some cases, investors just don't just lose money; they get deported. Yeah, like what happened with Anshu Sethi. Yeah, because I'd love to give my money to a guy named Anshu. Anshu.
Sounds like somebody's got an allergy.
Yeah, gesundheit. Why would Anshu Sethi steal your money, huh? He's as honest as the day is long. Let's see, 2 more projects are already lined up in the EB5 QE, with still more in the pipeline. Stinky is the first to admit that he was clumsy with notification in the transaction to close it out. In hindsight, because this guy's looking out his butt, the same place he's speaking out of, in hindsight, he said in an interview it may be better to poll all 35 investors to gauge their satisfaction. But I think what they wanted was to have their funds returned, Stinky said. He thinks. You think? That's what the promissory note guarantees. Quiro said the decision to execute the investors' exit strategy last August was prompted partly by some investors who asked for it and also by approaching promotional trip to recruit investors for the new projects. He wanted Stinker and J-Peak reps, as well as Governor Peter Schumbag and other state officials, to be able to say on that upcoming trip to Asia that the first batch of investors was being paid back. Now, isn't that the very definition of a Ponzi scheme, Philo?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but it might appear that way.
The whole idea of a Ponzi scheme is that you take the money from the first in people, the last in people, and give it to the first in, so that they can say, "Oh yeah, I made great money with that guy, and he paid me back." So next thing, you get more customers for the Ponzi peak scheme. It's insane. The first batch would be being paid back. It shows the world of EB5 that I'm giving money back to investors, Quiro said. Okay, over time, but at least now you know you're going to get your money back. And criticism or no, Quiro said the projects he's undertaken have been approved and built. Look at the hotel. Touch the hotel. Count the square footage. Look at that document. You signed for that. Look at the hotel. Touch the hotel. Touch it. Touch it. Touch it. Get on your knees. Touch it. It's like, what the hell?
Got pus?
Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring. Kiss it. Kiss it. Just like the Popey Dopey.
No, it isn't the Pope. It's a bishop you do that to.
Oh, man.
That happened to me, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah, back when I think I was about 8 or 9, the bishop was Robert F. Joyce, Bishop of Burlington, was at some confirmation. Kissed that ring, and you know I had the worst case of mono I'd ever gotten.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is back in the 50s.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't kiss a priest anything. You kidding me?
I wouldn't now, I'll tell you, but back then, what did you know?
Yeah, really. I knew enough to stay away from them people. And fortunately, I had parents who allowed me to do what I wanted. They're all like, well, you know, he'll come around when he comes around, if he comes around. But, you know, yeah, we can't go on without mentioning the sky god, because let's face it, our sky god is better than your sky god, and our sky god says your sky god sucks. So you better beware of God, because, you know, the old man in the sky, he's going to beat you, and then he's going to forgive you, and then he's going to beat you and forgive you and beat you and forgive you, and you're going to be out in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and you're going to be wandering for 40 years, and you can't get into the promised land till I say so, and Moshe dies. Unbelievable. And here we go
Moshe, who the
again,
heck's
too. We got another dead kid in Burlington, Philo.
I heard about that.
Yeah, oh, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, he's not breathing, but, you know, he's fine. Oh, man. Yeah, broadband tower approved for Vernon. Oh, speaking of which.
Well, they lost their nuclear power plant. Why not have a tower?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, speaking of which, if you want to see some really wild information, you can go to these websites, projectcensored.org, and the Intercept. Just type in the Intercept and you'll get there. The NSA will be watching you, but you'll get there. And if you're interested in the cell phone towers, go to wyfry.org. WHYFRY.org. Wi-Fi. And did you know, Terry, that the World Health Organization has classified smart meters, baby monitors, cell phones, and Wi-Fis as Class 2B possible carcinogens, along with DDT, lead, and the HIV virus?
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, it sounds perfectly safe to me, right?
You said that was the World Health Organization?
Yeah, what do they know, right?
Yeah. Them and the CDC, I don't trust.
Well, yeah, the CDC letting these jackasses in from Africa, I mean, they're out of their mind. And here we are.
We'll tell you about some of the other things, too.
Yeah. And what's the third leading cause of death in the United States, boys and girls?
Stupidity.
Yeah. Basically, you're right, Philo.
I thought that was first. I'm sorry.
Heart disease, cancer, and hospitals and medical mistakes. And guess what now, boys and girls? They don't have to report the stuff anymore. See this picture here? It's got a guy with a pair of scissors in his chest. Yeah, that's right, because they didn't know how to count the instruments. This is from page 3B of today's Burlington paper. The federal government quietly stopped publicly reporting when hospitals leave foreign objects or make a host of other life-threatening mistakes, such as embolisms or giving people the wrong blood type. The wrong blood type. You know what? Next time one of these jackalope bill collectors calls me from the hospital, I'm going to say, hey, you know, how much is it worth when you tried to kill me last January? Huh? How about it, people, when you gave me the wrong platelets? Oh, well, you know. Well, we didn't intend to give you the wrong platelets. Well, maybe we did, but we ain't saying. Anyways, CMS hospital comparison website, eight of these hospital-acquired conditions, they call them hacks, including infections such as MRSA, but dropping others. CMS said the new data include more reliable measurements. Yeah, so, you know, although CMS, the Medicare, and the American Hospital Association question the reliability of the data, they're considered reliable enough to penalize the hospitals. But anyways, Leah Binder of the hospital rating group Leapfrog Group says people deserve to know if the hospital down the street had a disastrous event and should be able to judge for themselves whether it's a reasonable indicator of the safety of the hospital. So evidently, you can go to a place called Leapfrog, the Leapfrog Group, and find the hospital ratings.
Find some frogs, too.
Yeah, oh man. And what's one of our favorite topics, Terry?
When alcohol attacks.
Yeah, when booze attacks. And there it is. We're going back in time. Bad booze. It killed 13 dead and left, 40 sickened. And this guy did time in prison because it was a dry town, see? Just like Vermont today, you know, kind of like a wink and a nod.
I don't think there is a dry town in Vermont.
Yeah, not anymore. Well, they had dry towns back then, and you'd have to go to a doctor. And the doctor would write you a script, and then you'd have to go to a druggist and get the booze. Well, this guy was buying spirits.
Booze is a drug?
Yeah.
Who would have thought of such a thing?
Yeah. Bisbee received a 10-gallon can marked Cologne Spirits, 190 proof alcohol from Thompson & Sons of Troy, New York. He paid $30 for 10 gallons, and then he was selling the stuff for 60 cents a pint. So it's like, yeah, let's get a pint and get messed up. Okay.
And the cap and I'd get messed up.
Yeah, the first he thought it was grain alcohol. It turned out to be wood alcohol. He put it in pints and sold it. The next day, in the next 2 days, an estimated 40 to 80 men drank the bad liquor. 13 of them died. The first 3 men died on Sunday and 9 more on Monday. This was November 1914. The last death occurred on Wednesday, November 14th. Unbelievable. But anyways, he went to the jail for this for a couple years, and then he got out and sued the company in Troy, and he'd been doing business with them for 30 years, and they paid him $100,000. I'll tell you what, $100,000 in 1914 is big money.
That's like $1 billion today.
Yeah, no kidding. And here we are from today's paper also. Man gets 12 years on attempted murder conviction. Some guy looked at his girlfriend cross-eyed, so him being cocked, he decided to stab the guy and almost murdered him. But that's okay because it's booze, and it's just booze, and it's legal, you know? It's insane. Well, where is it? This guy, Glenn Haskins Jr., he had handed a 12-year prison sentence. He's going to get 8 years in probation. Yeah, sure, right. The guy could have easily died from the wound. And the common features among all the incidents in the guy's record were alcohol, downtown Burlington, and some type of assault. Haskins thought Comian had inappropriately touched his female friend. He thought he touched her. He might have
thought he was drunk, too.
Yeah, well, he was.
Could have. Possible.
Yeah, so anyways, the judge is all like, hey, you're 25 now, you'll still be in your 30s when you're out, so you bet there's plenty of time to get your crap together and don't screw up. And our dumbass deputy of health, Barbara Camaglio, or whatever her name is here, oh yeah, it's frightening, opioids, you know. Now, mind you, they never tell you that, except on the warning labels, they tell you that booze causes cancer, but they don't tell you that it's addictive, you know? And listen to this jackalope, Philo.
Okay.
You can, she's, the number of Vermonters receiving treatment for heroin in 2013 surpassed those seeking help with booze. That's frightening. We can see that treatment is now our number one problem. And half of the younger people who started injecting heroin who were prescribed opioids before they turned to heroin. Oh, so here's the thing. So now whenever a young person goes in for, dental work or breaks a bone or anything, they're not going to get any painkillers because a couple of kids turned to junk. I mean, the rest of the young people have to suffer for this. And get this. Listen to this idiot. You can drink alcohol for a lot of years before you really develop a problem that's going to shatter your life, Camaglio said. You can drink alcohol for a week and you'll be addicted.
Alice Cooper said he was addicted right off.
Yeah, a lot of people have.
Yep,
like
right.
the first drink goes right to your brain, and it's like winning the lottery. I mean, it's the same when they map your brain. The same thing happens when you hit the jackpot is when you have a drink.
You know, Steve, it never ceases to amaze me how all these people that write all this stuff aren't experts, have never been a counselor, haven't studied any brain chemistry, and know very little about these substances at all.
Yeah, but yet she's the deputy health commissioner, Philo.
So's Deputy Dog.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Hey, and we were talking about this. You know how another kid just died, right?
Yep.
Well, get this. They scramble up this article about this swamp-running Negro and his girlfriend. Oh, and by the way, look down here. Law professor Cheryl Hanna is still dead. That's right. She died last week, and she's still dead. We just want to, reinforce that because, she's still in the news. But anyways, this Negro, this black guy, his girlfriend had 2 kids. Now, they scramble the stuff up, and you got to read it from back to front. The police had gone to the scene. Let's see. So this Knowlton woman and her 2 children had tried, they were in a Motel 6 in Colchester. So mind you, she's in a motel with her 2 kids, and I wonder who's paying for that. It's not us. It's not the state, right, Philo?
No, who knows?
And she's got 50 bags of what she thought was heroin. It turns out the stuff is fentanyl. And so they haven't
50 times more powerful than heroin.
Yeah, and they haven't even charged these people because the idiots, the prosecuting idiots and the DEA don't know what to do because they charged them with heroin wrongly. So now they're all like, well, we can't charge them twice for the same crime or we don't know what to do because we're lawyers in love and we're too busy drinking. We're real stupid. Did we tell you we were stupid? Yeah. We're going to jail the pot smokers, but, we'll let the junkies run around with the, and sell fentanyl. And anyways.
Dumb all over, a little ugly on the side.
And so they go to the Motel 6. It said Knowlton was there with her 2 kids, and this Lindsay guy was with her, and he tried to flee before being apprehended by Colchester pigs near a swamp behind the motel. The police had gone to the scene after learning that a DCF caseworker was planning to meet with the mother at the motel. Okay, so we're paying for this woman to stay in a motel, and she's got kids, and she's got a boyfriend that's running away and supposed to have no contact with her, and they haven't charged her. Now, mind you, in an affidavit, the heroin was field tested by the DEA. It tested negative for heroin, but was a faint positive for fentanyl. The DEA sent it to their regional lab, and the lab said it was fentanyl. The affidavit said that this mother told the cops she had recently acquired 50 bags of heroin and that she and Lindsay decided to keep a few bags for their own use and sell the rest. She told me in the affidavit she snorted 2 bags and then puked because the heroin was so strong.
That's because it's not heroin, it's fentanyl.
Yeah. Lindsay said Knowlton told the pigs She didn't know what the substance that they were selling was fentanyl, not heroin. And a review of court records indicates that Mommy Dearest here is not presently facing any potential criminal charges in the case. So it's like jail for the black guy and diversion for the white girl. And if she's got the money for 50 bags of friggin' heroin, why are we paying for her to stay at a Motel 6, Philo?
Because we can't afford the Radisson? Hey, Steve, can you got a cigarette, guy?
Oh, man. God, it's it. And it's like, he hadn't been charged either. And let's see. They said she sold 47 bags of heroin to a confidential source during a transaction monitored by the pigs.
Very confidential.
So,
very confidential.
She's selling fentanyl to a paid junkie. We have government paid junkies. We have government paid flunkies to stay in the motels and keep the motel owners fat and happy.
Okay.
And it's like insane. It's just nuts. It's nuts.
Well,
okay, then.
I gave a reasonable explanation.
I swear to God, Terry, it's right on the money. It's right there. And then speaking of which, and speaking of dead kids, there's the guys responsible, Granny Sorrell and Comb Over Yakka Bonehead. Yep, the guy on the right over here, that's the other side there. That's Yakka Bonehead. He's the head of the DCF, man. Got hair on one side of his head that goes down to his waist, and on the other side is 3 inches long. But you know, this guy'll never get fired because it's the Peter principle. You rise to the level of your incompetence, and you never have to face the music. We've got 3 dead kids so far. 4, 5. What's it gonna take?
You're gonna have a dead engineer. Your dog's making me laugh.
Oh man, Mac, stay away from him. Stay away from the employees. And
the dog is too funny.
And get this girl. This girl was drunk. She passes out on the couch, wakes up with a knife nearby, covered from head to toe in blood. She had been drinking heavily, and now she wants her statements that she told the pigs retracted. Okay, then. Lawyers for Jeanette Maxfield, who was charged with killing her boyfriend in Heidi Park, they said everything should be thrown out because they forced her to talk to him. Oh, it couldn't have been that she was cocked, right?
No.
It couldn't have been that she was drinking heavily, right? Oh, no. They got a 4th Amendment for that, don't you know?
She got a 5th, too.
Yeah, and I got a 5th in the trunk and a pint in my pocket. Yeah, so don't mess with me. According to police affidavits, Maxfield claimed she passed out on a couch at Cafferty's home after drinking heavily earlier in the day and woke up to find him dead on the floor and herself covered in blood. She did tell investigators she assumed she killed Cafferty because no one else was there at the time.
She couldn't find anybody else to do it for her.
Yeah, it was the voices in her head. She told she told police that she was treated at the Brattleboro retreat for a borderline personality disorder. It wasn't me, she said in the affidavit. It was someone else in my head. I wasn't there. I was asleep. I have multiple personalities. I was in a completely altered state, and I don't know how in an altered state I could just kill somebody and lay back and go to sleep. I don't know. I was drunk, and I don't know, and he's dead.
And she saw a dog fall down, too.
Oh, wah. Oh, man, somebody should. Oh, it's too bad we don't have the death penalty. I have multiple personalities.
I'll take one.
Yeah, really, I'll take 2. Her lawyer's motion to suppress acknowledges she was told she was free to go, but when she asked someone to call her parents, the cops said they were too busy. So you get out the door and you walk, honey. You hitchhike, you call a cab. If the pigs say you're free to go, you're free to go. If you want to blab and give them a confession, then don't expect it to be retracted, meatheads. Unbelievable. And so when she was wanted to go, the dick said to her, "You agreed you'd talk with us, right?" So I guess she sits back down. She gets recorded again, and then they took her into custody. Well, but that's okay because she's got a borderline personality disorder.
I swear, Steve, I'm not going to make it through this show. Your dog's making me laugh. Your dog is too funny.
That dog's a head case, Terry.
He's making me into one, too.
He's just plain gone, man. If he sees if he gets a rise out of you, he'll do it again and again. And here's Rutland's mayor's nephew arraigned for heroin charges.
Big surprise, Rutland.
No, Rutland? Really? Oh, man. And, yeah, he didn't know which way out of the courthouse, I guess. He saw the press, and he first walking quickly in one direction, then abruptly running the opposite way when a photographer tried to take his picture. Oh, yeah. In March, him and an 18-year-old woman were arrested in Watervliet, New York, a suburb of Albany. Then why is he being charged in federal court here? Why wasn't he charged in New York? Why are we going to pay for this jackass to be in prison when he was busted in New York? Oh, that's right.
Because they don't want him either.
He's white. He can't go to prison down there. He's white. He's got to go to prison in Vermont. Unbelievable. And did you know that houses get drunk and disorderly, Philo?
Who got drunk and disorderly?
The houses, the house itself.
Oh.
Burlington on track to track nuisance properties. See? A house gets drunk and disorderly.
I've never seen a drunk and disorderly house.
Yeah, it's not the people that are in it. It's not the UVM students partying their brains out and puking on their shoes. Oh, no. It's perfectly legal. Let's see. Code enforcement, William Ward said Thursday, has created a list of 12 rental properties with a high number of police calls for noise, disorderly conduct, and alcohol offenses in the past 2 years. All of the properties are located in Ward 1 and 2. Combined, they prompted more than 150 calls to the pigs in the last 2 years. Well, maybe you should bill the landlords for the police calls then.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, how about that? You deduct it from their rent. Oh, physical inspections can help with disorderly conduct complaints because the structure of the house sometimes contributes to the problems. Oh, there's a brilliant statement. He said the basement of one property was being used for parties even though it was unsafe, and another property had a broken window. You believe it? A broken window. And it was puking.
I'd sue him over that.
Yeah, and it was puking all over its own shoes. It puked on its foundation, it puked on its sidewalk, and it puked on its own porch. Oh, and here we got an article with some local connections. It looks like the ice cider thing there or whatever. They're having more booze articles. Yeah, push the cancer hall. You like that rack, boys and girls? Yeah, well, you keep drinking, you're going to get breast cancer and colon cancer and lung cancer and
Your dog's going to kill me.
and skin cancer. Yeah, there they are. Look at them in the field, Philo, drinking. Isn't that lovely?
Oh, that just turns me on.
Oh, yeah, a couple of hoofties in the field, pounding them down. Nice. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Legger and her husband, Albert Legger, own Eden Ice Cider, which has produced award-winning ice cider in West Charleston since '07 and expanded production tour into the Kingdom Testing Center in Newport. Over lunch, Legger explained how she first met Heekin at a library event in Stowe for her book, Libation, A Bitter Alchemy, which recounts her intellectual and sensory explorations of the world of wine and spirits and toys and other stuff that we can't mention. But it was very sensual. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Drink up, that's right, and don't mind the cancer because every time someone comes down with cancer, the GDP goes up. And look at this. This was a front page article, Philo, right?
Yep.
Now you look at this and you say, oh my God, here's a grieving mother overwhelming gratitude. You know, the people, her kid died, and they gave the kids organs to other kids so that they could live and everything. And guess what? Guess what killed the kid, Philo?
Probably the mother.
No, booze.
Oh, booze did?
Yeah.
Well, big surprise, huh?
Yeah, remember that guy Poon that they threw in jail, and some other jackalope they bought this kid a bottle of gin? Well, he bought the bottle of gin. They caught him drinking at his girlfriend's home. They dragged his ass home, grounded him. He hopped on his four-wheeler, went down the road, crashed it, and killed his own ass at 16. They donated his heart, liver, and one lung. And fortunately, they were well preserved by the alcohol. And
I'm going to sue your dog for trying to kill me.
you leave that dog alone, damn it.
This dog is funny, Steve.
Unbelievable. He's nuts, man. He's nuts. Shelburne police sees 118 bags of heroin at Harbor Place. Oh, okay. These people were sleeping in their car at the former Econo Lodge at 10:30 a.m. And yeah. Oh, look at this. And you see this. Oh, geez, Louise. I'm not even going to read the UVM story. And
Why
here we
not?
are.
What's wrong with the UVM story?
Oh, man. We're going to take a major step on the issue of substance abuse, right?
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. And then it says, Shummy's still bitching about the OxyContins and the opiates. And he says, Shummy says, we've seen a 250% increase in people receiving treatment in Vermont since 2000, with the greatest percentage, 40%, in just the past year. A 250% increase since 2000. Well, geez, Governor Nosebag, we didn't have any treatment available until the year 2000. So how can he even say that with a straight face? I mean, what the hell?
Ask Jamie Farr.
Yeah, no kidding. He's got a beak that'd blow away Klinger. And yeah, here you are. Write what you know. Booze equals death. There's a writer with a mohawk. And see this gal right here? Look at this, Philo. You know how old that woman is?
22.
She's 22. That's what happens. She's been
No
drinking
kid-
since she was 14.
I guessed right.
No, I don't know how old she is. But she looks like she's been a tough road, you know. And get this. They were prompted. Here's the prompt that the writer gave them. That's all I remember from that night, and you're supposed to finish it up. And yeah, creeping down Shelburne Road, my fancy BSW, 2 and 3 in the morning. I was lucky to get home without being stopped. My eyes are closed, spinning brain, cigarette. Jesus Christ, where's my lighter? A bunch of other expletives. What the hell was I gonna do? Scratching and groveling for the red glass and the lighter, cigarette. I cursed myself for being so drunk and the inability to figure out why I couldn't find my keys. Oh, okay. Write about what you know. Yeah, Writers for Recovery. And you know the Fell case where they ran down the juror? They're gonna retract this guy's death penalty and his sentence and everything else because of the juror went down and checked out the crime scene or something, Terry?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You know how they found that juror and got all that info out of him, Terry?
They probably waterboarded him.
He was cocked. No, they didn't have to waterboard him. All you got to do is give him booze like Vodka Girl in there. Yeah, it's like...
Cheney's been wasting all this time and money.
Yeah, really, all that Gitmo money, you know? You could have just given him to the truth serum. On December 18th, 2010, 2 investigators for Fell's new team of lawyers stopped by Lepore's Northfield home to speak to him. The investigators, part of an effort to justify a new trial, had been fanning out across the state to interview the jurors. Lepore, just back from deer camp, recalled he was on a pretty good bender when the 2 investigators knocked on his door. I thought they were Jehovah's Witnesses, he said. When they mentioned my name, I'm like, and then they said, we'd like to ask you a few questions. And according to court documents, Lepore spewed all the stuff out for the next 2 hours about how he had gone down to Rutland during the guilt phase of the trial and blah-de-blah-de-blah. So now this guy's going to get a new trial. Yep. Oh, and they've got this guy, The Mad Beater is back in court. That's right. Resentencing ordered an assault conviction. Yeah, the Vermont Supreme Court said that this guy down here, Yetha Yumbumba, wasn't sentenced right because they didn't tell him he could go back to the Congo. And Yetha, that's my baby. Yetha, I don't mean maybe. Yetha, that's my baby now. The Vermont Supreme Court ruled an 8-year prison sentence. The High Court said Lumumba may never face deportation because Judge Grierson imposed the maximum life sentence. That makes it an inappropriate sentence because the High Court believed Lumumba had a right to be returned home. Lumumba, a UVM student, forced another female UVM student to perform a sex act on him after she rejected his overtures for sex in June 2010 near the Burlington waterfront. The government alleged the woman feared she'd be raped if she didn't comply. And she was the one who bought the beer. I've still got the article about that. She bought the beer. She goes down to party with the guy from the Congo. And next thing you know, she's being pressured into, or whatever it was. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's okay, but it's fully legal, though. That booze is good for you. Damn, is that a low-flying Cessna? Yep, and what's one of our other...
Low-flying duck.
Yeah, the ruptured duck. What's our other favorite thing is the environment. That's right, because, you know, our grandchildren aren't going to say, well, you know, did you leave us any jobs? Did you leave us, did you leave us a good car in the driveway? No. Our grandchildren are going to say, did you leave us clean air and water? Did you leave us soil that wasn't contaminated that we can grow our own food on? That's what they're going to say, and we're blowing it, man. Extinction by humanity. The Earth may be on the verge of the 6th mass extinction according to human activities. The biodiversity in the 3.5 billion years, more than 320 land animals have become extinct since 1500. Wiped out by hunting, loss of habitat, pollution. It's been the highest since human emerged. And we're like a virus. We're killing the planet. It's just like, oh man, Men in Black. No, what was it? The Matrix. And look at this. Yep, it's in New Hampshire too. Last week they shut down a whole section of Lake Erie that was getting their drinking water. Thanks, Philo. And now they're shutting down beaches in New Hampshire. And there's an algae bloom right now as we speak, getting larger by the minute over in St. Albans Bay. They're warning people, as we speak, they're warning people and their pets to stay away from the lake. But that's okay because we'll do anything the dairy farmers want. Oh, you want some pus? We got pus, no problem. Drink the pus. Good for you. Yeah, this beach may not be suitable for swimming due to high levels of bacteria. Provision of the environmental services. Don't drink or let kids drink the water. Don't wade or swim in the water with big exclamation points. It's hard to tell what conditions will lead to bigger algae blooms, including rainfall and wind can play a role. For example, last year, heavy rains in June and July likely washed a lot of animal waste into the ponds and lakes, pushing up the number of water holes with high levels of fecal matter. So it's not the liquid crap. Oh no, it's not the millions and millions of gallons of liquid crap spewed by the industrial dairy farm. Oh, it's the little animals. They're going down and pooping in the beach. Yeah, and get this. Here's some enviro pussies. Look at this. Serious sit-in. Yep, these people are protesting the gas line over there in Burlington. You know what? I guarantee you, Philo, that at least 1 or 2 people in this crowd is a paid informant by the pigs.
Oh, there's no doubt about that at all.
Yep, they've been doing that since Roman times, boys and girls. That's how they got the Weather Underground. That's how they got the Black Panthers. That's how they got everybody. Yeah. Which ones are the informants? Yo, the group protests the pipeline without incident, but has no plans of backing down. What do you mean? You backed down, you left without incident. How is that not backing down? And guess what Pee Wee Welch wants to do, Philo?
Don't know.
You're going to believe this. This guy says he's a Democrat, yet he's caucusing with the Republicans on this bill because it might make the farmers have to keep control of their pesticides and herbicides. It's like, what the hell? It's unbelievable. Let's see. Congressman Welch voted for the bill because it cuts an additional and unnecessary layer of regulation that's burdensome to farmers. The bill passed the House 267 to 161, but is unlikely to advance in the Senate because of the Democrats. Democrats say it would remove safeguards that protect human health and the environment. All this would do is make it harder to locate the sources of pesticide contamination in our rivers, lakes, and streams for these discharges even more difficult, said Donna Edwards, a Democrat from Maryland. Edwards said that applying a FIFRA-approved pesticide in accordance with labeling doesn't guarantee protection of local water quality. As any farmer knows, she said, complying with the law is as simple as applying a pesticide in accordance with its label. Farmers do not need to look at the localized impact of the pesticide on local water quality. Yet Pee Wee wants to go with Rob Gibbs from Ohio, a Republican, who who said the bill reverses an ill-advised circuit court ruling that does nothing to enhance environmental protection, but it makes it more expensive for state governments, farmers, ranchers, and others to continue complying with pesticide regulations. Hey, Bucky, you know, we're sick of this burdensome regulations. You said you were going to start jobs. You go in there, and what do? You just want to, screw with the abortion laws. That's right. They want to go up your hoo-ha. And here we are. Yankee doesn't want to pay its fees, Philo. Can you believe it?
Yep.
Huh. Yankee looks to the end of the emergency costs. Oh, sure.
This is the end of all hope.
Oh, man. The zone extends from the reactor to southeast corner 6 Vermont towns, parts of New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And I was in that zone in Westmoreland, New Hampshire, in Cheshire County. 5 U.S. senators wrote to the ARC to expedite the movement from the spent fuel into the pools into dry casks. Studies have concluded that draining a spent fuel pool can lead to fires, large radioactive releases, and widespread contamination. And researchers found spent fuel pools could not be dismissed as a potential target for terrorist attacks. One of these pools getting wiped out could just like burn out a whole section of southern New England. And if the wind was blowing from the south, it could wipe out this whole state. But you know, they don't want to pay for the alarms. And they don't want to pay for anything. Vermont Yankee said it expects there to be some fuel remaining in the pool until 2021, when the last of it will be moved into dry casks. Oh, sure. Chris Rumpia, the commissioner of the DPS, said Vermont and neighboring states are pressing the NRC not to let them drop the emergency response efforts. But he said that given the NRC's position that spent fuel pools provide safe storage, the state's chances of prevailing may be slim. Oh yeah, so we're going to believe the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, which is a bunch of agency rump swabs, and with our safety, right? And here we are. Look at this. Mayor of Toledo, water emergency not over yet. It's unbelievable. Thanks, Philo. Drink the farm splooge. Drink it! Drink it! Only the mayor of Toledo has come out, this guy named Michael Collins. Michael Collins blamed the contamination on algae in Lake Erie, the city's main water supply. Once we clear this problem up, it's not going to eliminate the algae problem in Lake Erie. It's not going to eliminate the agricultural runoff. It's not going to eliminate mega farming, Collins said. That's where we have to go. It's not simply looking at the treatment system. Unbelievable. 111,000 households without water. To warn children not to bathe or swim in it. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, upset stomach. And
the heartbreak of psoriasis.
And the heartbreak of psoriasis, too. That's it. Residents warned not to boil, cook in it, or don't let the kids bathe in it, you know. But it's okay as long as we get cheap hot dogs. I don't care where the shit goes. They can shit right in the river if they want. It's okay. Oh, and we finally fired Governor Shumnose. Finally fired the web developer that pissed away $67 million in our money for a website that doesn't work. $67 million of your tax dollars gone, pissed away to a crony capital company called CGI that is probably owned by somebody's brother-in-law. Unbelievable. Darcy Johnson, or Hoofty Johnson, head of Vermonters for Healthcare Freedom, which means freedom to have no health care, noted that her group called for firing CGI since the first month when the launch faltered. She argued that Governor Shumdog should also fire the members of his administration involved with Vermont Health Connect. With the same managers, we can't hope for any improved outcome. Hey, I'm with Hoofty on this one, man. But he won't fire anybody. If he won't fire Yakka Bonehead over dead kids, man, he ain't gonna fire anybody.
You want to hear a weird name?
Yeah?
There's a referee in MMA, or the UCF, mixed martial arts. And you look at the guy and you can see it. His name is Mario Yamasaki. And you can see the Italian and the Japanese right in the guy.
Damn, man. It's like my cousins are half German and half Puerto Rican.
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So what have you got?
Their mother's
Hans
name,
Hernandez?
Yeah, their mother's name was Burkhart and the old man's name was Maldonado, man. We used to joke that they'd work hard all week and then steal from themselves on the weekends. And here we are. Time to abolish the CIA. You know, Obama come out and said, well, our folks tortured some people. Oh, sure. And see that guy on the bottom right there? That is public enemy number one, Paul Singer. You know, we can't tell you what, where he comes from or anything, but, let's face it. He's the one that's, he's going to bring the banking system to the verge of collapse because he won't give on this Argentine thing. Everybody else took a haircut, but not Paul Singer and Elliott Investments. Oh, no. He goes in, he buys up this foreign debt that's already been absolved on pennies on the dollar, and then he gets a favorable court with some favorable judge that's going to take suitcases full of his money, and the judge rules that, maybe the World Bank was wrong after all, and this country has to pay back the money, so you got to give Mr. Singer here a dollar on a dollar. And that's the way it goes. He's a vulture. If you go to, just look up vultures online, you'll get Greg Palast's website. It's unbelievable. Yeah, the CIA, Kennedy said he was going to smash the CIA into 1,000 pieces, and he should have, man.
And that's probably who killed him.
Oh, yeah, them and the mob. This Brennan guy should be hung up and tarred and feathered, man. These people, the intelligence and operations should be given to the military because not only are they more professional, they have to answer to somebody, and the UCMJ, and, law, world law. But, not these guys. They think they can do whatever they want, and they are. They violated the separation of powers principles embodied in the Constitution, said DIFI last March. And the Director Brennan apologized. Oh, that'll change everything. But yet Mo Udall, thank God, man, said, Brennan demonstrated an abject failure to acknowledge any wrongdoing in the agency, called for the appointment of an independent counsel for possible criminal violations. That's what we need to do. The CIA is either at your throat or at your feet, and we got to get them back on their knees where we had them in the Church Commission during the 1970s, because these jackasses, they just get bigger and bigger. They set up all these black sites where they tortured people, and every one of them has gone down. Libya, Egypt, Tunisia, Syria, every place with a black site is shit in the bed right before our eyes. And they did such a great job in Iraq, didn't they? Oh, sure.
I just think that is just so marvelous.
Yeah.
Especially when Rumsfeld told us that we're winning the war.
Yeah, we're winning. And here we are. Did you know that the cops are crooks, Philo?
No.
That's right. 6 city narcotics officers shaking down drug dealers in Philadelphia.
Where was this?
In Philly.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, you think if they don't do it there, they won't do it here?
Well, it's probably just a bit more prevalent there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. 6 narcotics used to shake down drug dealers, holding a guy over an 18th floor balcony, steel bar to beat someone else in the head. They held another subject captive for several days while his family was threatened and made to pay extortion. The plan was to identify suspected drug dealers and use extortion means or threats to get their money and profits, said Zane Meminger, USAT. Well, at least the USAT is doing his job. And here's a lesson for you boys and girls. Well, you know, when they drag you in and question you, you don't say anything. The only thing you say is, I want to see my lawyer. This guy spent 21 years in jail because he went down and got harassed by the pigs in Connecticut. He was originally brought in, Philo. When he was 17, he was called to the Wallingford Piggy Station and asked questions about the drowning death of a friend a full year earlier. Police soon began questioning about the beating death of 30-year-old Barbara Pelkey. And then the SWAT team later arrested him in a sandwich shop, and he was convicted in '89 and sentenced to 50 years in prison.
Bad sandwiches, huh?
Pardon me?
You said he was arrested for bad sandwiches?
Yeah.
Evidently.
The SWAT team went in and took all the sandwiches.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He was, there was another guy they just let loose in 2006 after 18 years for rape. They paid him $5 million. This guy wants like $6 million. But the DNA, that's it. And, the guy's doing a dig down in Sandgate where Shays Rebellion. We've told you, you think the veterans are getting screwed as a new thing? Well, they've been screwing the veterans, the rich people have, since 1787 when it took artillery from Abe Lincoln's great uncle to rout out Shays Rebellion in Worcester, Massachusetts. And then he tried to take over the Springfield Armory too. And he came to Vermont. For about 2 years. Then he settled in New York after they got pardons. Because here's what happened. While they were gone fighting the revolution, they got back and they were paid in paper money called Continentals. Well, nobody would take the Continentals because there was no legal tender law. If you wanted to pay your taxes or anything else, you had to pay in gold and silver. But they paid the soldiers in Continentals. And then when they couldn't pay their mortgages or their bills or their taxes, they took their farms away. Well, because they were off fighting the Brits, down in South Carolina and stuff towards the end of the war. But, it's just the way banking is. Some people win, some people lose. It's and you get fleeced.
They wouldn't take Lincoln Continentals, huh?
Yeah, they wouldn't take any. It wasn't worth a Continental.
No Cadillacs either?
Nope. And the guy doing the digging, his name is Butts. Oh, and here's this. Look at this guy. This guy is the head of our Vermont State Colleges. Can you wonder why we got problems with our Vermont State Colleges? Look at that guy. Really, mister. Is that the best you can do? We got plenty for prisons, though.
I'd never trust anybody with a white beard.
Yeah, no kidding. And look at this.
Especially myself.
We got a air-conditioned Jesus right there. That's right. Get your ass to mass because it's now air-conditioned.
Reach out and touch me.
Yeah, Jesus, it's hotter than Hades up here. Can't you turn on the AC? I'm not coming to church anymore.
Remember that song by Depeche Mode?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Barely.
Personal Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Christ the King, St. Anthony, welcomes you to Mass. It's Christ the King at a Locust Street is now air-conditioned for your comfort because, Jesus wouldn't want to be like hot or hungry or tired or anything like that. No, Jesus wants you to come down and play bingo. That's right, bingo for Jesus. Oh, we got something else new this week, too. You remember the 3 R's, Philo? The little triangle that's on every plastic thing on the bottom? Yeah, there it is, right there. There's a little three-legged thing with a number in it for recycling.
Yep.
What do the other two R's stand for, Philo?
I don't even know. I wish I did.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
But I guess we've just forgotten the first two. You know, it's get fat, drink heavily, die young, man. You know, landfill, consumption, obesity, just fill up the landfills, man. Don't, screw it. All we remember is recycling.
3 minutes, Steve.
Okay, thanks. And here it is. Yeah, Cheryl Hanna, she loved the whole people, She didn't like the half people. She really liked the whole people, though. And by the way, Cheryl Hanna is still dead. Yes, that's right.
What happened to her?
She blew her brains out, Philo.
No.
Yeah. And, some people would say, well, a lawyer committing suicide? Well, it's a beginning. I wouldn't say that. Some people would, though. And look at the calico lobster's here. All hail the Messiah! All hail the Messiah! It's the calico lobster. He's back. He's here to make things right.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
They found a calico lobster. It's 1 in 50 million. It's almost as rare as an albino one.
Boy, what you've got in the green screen is hideous.
Oh yeah. That's our Troy board of rump swabs.
How horrifying.
Yeah, look at this. And speaking of state rump swabs, these 3 women say the state violated the equal pay law, and the state's fighting them on it. Even he was special, and the state violated their own laws, right? When an agency like corrections want to make such a hire, it needs to document the special circumstances in a request to the DHR, and the lawyers for the women say that didn't happen. He's making between $6,400 and $10,000 a year more than these women that do exactly the same work. Yeah, here it is again too. Professor's death ruled a suicide. That's right, suicide. So her death is going to be listed as a death by gun. So when these anti-gun wackos say, look, we had a lot of people killed by guns, her death is going to be one of them. That's right. She's still dead.
1 minute to go, Steve. 1 minute to go.
Yeah, and here we are. Diversion program. That's right. Jail the Negroes. And here's Jim Brady died. Well, I'll tell you what. If Hinckley used a .45 caliber gun instead of a .22, the things would have been a lot different. And you know what? They keep calling Hinckley a mentally ill guy, Philo. They don't mention the fact that his parents were like best friends with the Bushes. That never comes up. Why is that, Terry?
I wish I knew. I'd ask him myself.
Yeah. Why don't they ever mention that? And, here we are. They're beating up. And here's Pam's Meat. Nobody beats Pam's Meat. It's Pam McKenzie. They got fined. PBS, they changed their name. They got fined. They spent $100,000 on lawyers. But, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't violate the open meeting law. Yes, we did. Maybe not. Okay. Never mind. And last but not least, here's Bibi comb over Netanyahu. Hoy, send more money. We got to beat the Palestinians. Hoy, with your weapons. Hoy. And go to democracynow.org. If you go to Democracy Now! and see the guy from MIT who said those little rockets are like Estes model rockets, and they haven't killed like 4 people and they died from heart attacks. And their Iron Dome project doesn't work. So once again, you've wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching just stupid program.
Admiral Akbar, calling Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, and remember, and democracy's for sale. It's real cheap. And don't forget the Sky God. Get down on your knees and say, our God says it's better than your God, so we can send in tank shells and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Good night, folks.
Oh, man. That your signal, Mac? Oh, yuck.
We're gonna stay until we soothe our soul. If it takes all night long. Come on and let the good times roll. We're gonna stay until we soothe our soul. If it takes all night long.